up, my writing weirdos? Hey, I am BC, and this is BC Brown Books, where we like to get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. We write them, and we talk about writing them. And then we talk about a bunch of other crap, too, because we're writers, and that's what we do. I want to say welcome to all of my writing weirdos that are here with us this evening. And I want my lovely co-host, one half of Victoria Von Roc, to introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, I am Sako Tumi, also known as Voit, also known as half of Victoria Von Roc, also known as the Witch of Till with Tag. I have all these also known as. I should come up with a video or something like it. This person, also this person, also this person.
You're like, and writing, when I'm Sako, I look like this. When I'm Cass, I look like this.
I know, right? So I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. So if you are looking to market yourself as an author, please drop by my channel. I would love to see you.
And if you want to be a witchier witch, go by her witch channel.
And if you want to be a witchier witch, go by my witch channel, the Witch of Till with Tag.
All right, so as most of our viewers know, Sako and I are co-writing a book together, which is what we do on Monday nights on her channel and Thursday nights on my channel. But we will be doing that while you all are watching, well, not watching, but hopefully while you all are doing your own productivity sprints. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So I took a look at some of the things that you had added, Sako, which were just little minor things.
Just little things.
Yeah. So we wanted to go in tonight and do our secondary beats. Okay. We could do that.
Cool.
We can definitely do that.
Oh my god, so, cats are being freaks right now. Oh.
My cats have been super freaky lately. I don't know what's been up with them, but they've had this. The instant we go to sleep, they wake up and decide that they have to run and pounce and do all sorts of stuff. And the instant that my partner wakes up in the morning, the cats are super alert and awake, and they have to come and run and jump on me. But I get a whole extra hour's worth of sleep because I have the benefit of working from home and don't have to be up ridiculously early like my partner has to be. And it just pisses me off because I'm seriously, cats? But they're I swear this morning it was they were leaping salmon trying to swim upstream. It was just and every time I would sit up to try and pay attention to them thinking that's what they wanted, they'd scatter and they'd just be gone. And I'm
what do you want? What do you want? What do you
want out of me, gatos?
What do you want?
Yeah. Hey, we got Carrie in the house. Good to see you, Carrie. And Devin is here. It is not a stream unless Devin is there.
Hi, guys.
I'm so loving your daily playlists for all the writing streams. It's so helpful. I don't have to catch you during a stream and be hey, who's streaming and what's going on next and for the rest of the day. You've got everybody that has their stuff scheduled, obviously, up and in that playlist immediately. I love it. I love it. I love it. So it has been super helpful. I just realized I have my this is the background I wanted, not my other one. And I just realized the other one was on there. I like this one better.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a whole lot different, but just me,
It's still on brand.
It's still on brand and everything. It's just I don't want just my social medias all down at the bottom and everything. Sounds like the kitty version of Stewie going, "Mum, mum, mummy, mum, mum, mummy." Yes, it is pretty much the kitty version of that. Pretty much. Only I'm convinced that because they're cats, rather than just being an evil little dictator, evil little genius dictator, they'll eat me in my sleep. If they don't. Yeah, I'm convinced that my cat is just going to consume me.
Mm-hmm.
That it's I would say it's almost my biggest fear like fear of death, like my biggest fear of a way to die, but that's drowning. So it's like my second biggest is right up there that, like my cats are just going to devour me while I sleep or something. Which is totally
They wait until you're dead first, but
typically, but mine are also, mine lick me in the mornings when their bowls are empty. So if they're that close to they're already letting me know they're hungry.
that is an interesting way of letting them letting you know that they are hungry.
Yeah. And they don't do the whole I can see a spot in the bottom of my bowl, so therefore I'm starving to death. They don't do that.
Okay.
They actually wait till their bowls are like there are 3 kibbles left on the bottom. And then they're actually coming and they're like licking my face, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm so gonna get devoured here if I don't get up and feed them in like 15 minutes. That's the span I give myself, is 15 minutes. I feel safe. That's my pocket somehow. Okay, so
Hi, Alley Cat.
yay, Alley Cat, good to see you. I was so cool the other day seeing you on the stream, and I was like, I haven't seen Alley Cat in ages.
So good.
It was good getting to see you. So what are you working on tonight, Sako? I know we're gonna kind of actually. Never mind. I guess we're gonna kind of work on the beats together, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna be doing that. So normally Sako would get to work on some other stuff while I worked on Project Lambo tonight, but not tonight.
I think we're both working on it simultaneously.
We're both working on it simultaneously. So, all right. Carrie says at least you get licks. My sister's cat would bite. Yeah, I do get licks. That's nice.
Oh, that would be a cat who all pizza.
Yeah. Well, your kitty is giving us quite the show in the background.
Yes.
It's bath time. Cats have no shame. They're just like, whatever, I'm gonna clean right here. I'm a demigod. It's all good.
That is. Yep, she's digging in her ass at the moment. That's
Yep.
So that's
just a cat thing. It's just a cat thing.
Hi,
all right, Debbie is here. Yay! Good to see you, my writing weirdo and drawing weirdo. Okay, so we probably should get started on our first sprint, which we will do the usual customary 20 minutes. And then how do you want to do this tonight, Sako? Do we want to message?
I was wondering, they seem to have like a messaging system within Google Docs now.
Maybe. Let me look. I mean, I know they've got the commenting. Oh, I guess they are. It's kind of.
It's like kind of a chat sort of situation.
Yeah, which I guess we could do.
Because I can like, oh, that's not what I meant to do. Show chat. Here we go. This is a chat thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this works. Okay. So I like that they're getting like on board with the whole instantaneous conversations that people need to have when sharing documents. So that is pretty cool. Devin is glad that we don't clean ourselves the same way cats do.
Yeah,
I'm on board with you there. I'm really glad that we don't clean ourselves like animals do. So, although birds actually bathe, which is really cool.
It is super cute when they bathe because they're fluffy.
They're all fluffy and they're all like, and they like shimmy and shake and do stuff like that. Alley Cat on the same board. Yeah, I think we're all on board with that one as far as definitely not a fan of that. Okay, yes, so we will put 20 minutes on the clock. Go ahead, share my screen. If it'll share, there we go. Okay, so we will do 20 minutes, and Then hopefully Sako and I can pound out a little bit more of Project Flambeau's secondary beats because we gotta flesh some stuff out and fill in some gaps.
Yep.
Oh, Spence showed up just in the time for a sprint. Hello, lovely weirdo. You're probably gonna bake something wonderful, or draw something beautiful, or clean something thoroughly. Seems like those are like your top threes for the evening sprints.
She
But if
is
you're
a
gonna do something,
quasi-conscious owl tonight. Quasi-conscious.
Quasi-conscious owl. Okay, that's cool. I'm good with that. We could use some owls. Everybody loves owls. Everybody loves owls.
Hooty, 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 hooty.
You're writing tonight? Awesome! Vampire Christmas Romance? Or the Super Secret? Da, 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 da.
Hi, Jean.
Oh, Dee is here! Yay! Thank you for getting weird with my buttons. I really like it when you get weird with my buttons. Spencer's doing Vampire Christmas Romance. Yes! Okay. All right. So to get started on that topic, we will do our sprint in 3, 2, 1. Sprint! Okay, sprint now. Beep, 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 beep. All right. So, end of our first 20-minute sprint. How did we all do? Sako and I were fairly productive. Granted, we only got really 2 beats into it.
But we're working on a third.
We're working on a third, yes. So we got like halfway through a sentence after we talked it out, chatted it out, and everything. So what we're doing right now, for everybody who was wondering, is we did our initial beats and everything and got a really good skeletal structure for the story. We did our 0 draft where we fleshed out all of that, and now we're having to go back in and actually brainstorm out beats for the sections that are needed that we found were a little lacking, or at the B story, which really was pretty much thrown in there at the last minute, so it wasn't mentioned early enough on. So we're having to go in and kind of analyze where we can sandwich these new beats and this new prose without slowing down the momentum of the story or detracting, which takes forever to do. Because it's easy to like write the process and just like keep writing, just to go with your action on your A story. But once you go back in and you're trying to like weave in where you've missed stuff, then you're like, oh, is this going to slow down the action too much here or slow down the scenes over here? So that's what we're working on right now. So Spence was saying, hint, the Super Seeker project isn't really it's not a writing project. I think this is like the only hint I've heard so far about the Super Seeker project. That's cool. It's not really a writing project. So still tied to writing somehow. Maybe it's like cover art. I'm guessing maybe cover related to writing. That could be a cover art design because I know you're an artist too. So that could be that. I'm excited. So Carrie H. author was going to pop out to see if they could help with bedtime, but obviously not needed, and back to journaling, which is cool. Spence got their stuff open and a bowl of soup. Soup sounds good.
Man, I got hiccups and it's the worst.
Oh, I hate hiccups more than anything because they serve zero purpose whatsoever and they hurt. It's like I don't mind, like coughing does something. It like gets something out of your body. Sneezing actually is not unpleasurable anyway. They're just awkward and weird. But like hiccups, they just hurt no matter what.
Just your diaphragm having a spaz.
Pretty much. And since it's right there in the core of your being where all of your other organs are like all cramped together, it's just like, I can't not, you can feel like hiccups all the way down into your toes, or at least I can, but mine are really painful and really violent. I don't get them very often though, unfortunate. I think part of it is because I can't take super deep breaths because of my asthma. So, like when I get them, they go away pretty easily. But so Debbie figured a scene out and decided to go back to work on thumbnails. Cool. Alley Cat finished some dinner, got 130 words, and got distracted. You still got some stuff done. That was still productive.
Yeah.
I get distracted all the time. Like hiccups are a bug in the matrix. Okay.
Hiccup.
Trying to figure out in the whole plot verse of the Matrix how the hiccups would be a bug. Because I get the deja vu when they change something in the Matrix, so you're seeing it a second time. But hiccups being a bug in the Matrix. I guess maybe it's when your body is trying to wake itself up. Like when you're in the little stasis tube and you're all plugged in. Maybe it's when your body is like, hey, this is not reality. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Alley Cat, true. Yes. That was still very productive. There are some sprints where I'm like, I did nothing but sit here and stare at the ceiling. Because That's what I needed to do right then, was sit there and stare at the ceiling. Okay, so for our secondary beats that Sako and I have been working on, we definitely, when we decided to start doing this project together, we wanted to incorporate the fact that Sako is an amazing horror writer, and I'm not so much, but I love reading it. So we're relying heavily on her ability to be able to add horror elements where it needs to go. So that was one of the beat points that we added in, was just being able to bring in a scene that was more horrific at the beginning. And then the second one, what was the second one we did? Oh yeah, the second one was we introduced the B story of the missing daughter sooner, rather than, what was it, about almost 2/3 of the way through the zero draft where we were like, oh, and there's this daughter that went missing a long time ago, and we just didn't mention her up until now because she was not convenient until now. And not a convenient plot point.
Yeah.
It wasn't a convenient plot point until now. And then the third one is we are actually going to show our antagonist being a little less two-dimensional, and show him actually having good intentions for what he's doing, which I think a well-rounded antagonist really makes stories so much better. Don't get me wrong, I love the classic black and white, like evil, good versus evil tale. Yes, the ha black hats and mustache twirling and like clearly nefarious intentions and stuff like that. I like them. They're hokey, but they're fun.
But I don't think they have a place in this story.
They don't. You're right. They really don't. And I think another thing that's important is that audiences today, they want meatier substances to they want meatier existences and rationale behind why bad guys do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they are like, I'm evil and I want to take over the world, what is their logic for wanting to take over the world?
What is their logic?
Like, what to get them? Is it power? Is it fame? Is it money? Is it they think they're smarter than everybody else? So I think that's important. So that's the third plot point that we're working on, or the third beat. Not plot point, but the third beat that we're working on is just trying to showcase the first antagonist in the story, because we do technically have 3 antagonists in the story. 2 main characters, 3 antagonists. Which I just kind of realized that we have 3 antagonists.
I guess we do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like stage, it's like stage 1 boss, stage 2 boss, big boss.
Yeah.
Like
our load-bearing boss.
Yeah, load-bearing boss. So Spence says, antagonists aren't always villains, in my opinion, and the best stories have incredibly complex antagonists that are more interesting than the protagonists. I agree. I had, one of the stories that I love, or I guess one of the stories that I love the most is Stephen King's Eyes of the Dragon. And it's one of his few fantasy stories. Now there is the Dark Tower series, which is fantasy. But really he's known for his horror writing, obviously. Then he's known for his fantasy writing. But Eyes of the Dragon is one of my favorite because I thought that Flag, the villain, was far more complex than the protagonist of the story. Now the protagonist
Stand?
Flag is in the Stand too. He's also in the Dark Tower series. So Flag is the Man in Black. He is the Man in Black. So he is in the Stand. He's in the Dark Tower series. He's mentioned in copious other stories that King writes, because so most people don't realize, but almost every single story that King has written is in the same universe. Is in the same world.
Yeah.
So it's just at varying points in the world. There are a few that are miscellaneous stories that he claims are not part of the universe. They're all technically part of the Dark Tower universe. But yeah. So, okay. Spence says that's why Joker's better than Batman. Mr. Spence, I think missing the point a bit, but okay, honey. But I actually agree with Mr. Spence a little bit here. The Joker is better than Batman for being more complex. Batman is a very straightforward character, despite the fact that he has
daddy issues.
Serious daddy issues, serious mommy issues, daddy issues. And that he has a gray morality that most superheroes don't have. He has a very kind of murky morality. That's what makes Batman complex, but he's actually very straightforward for a protagonist. But the Joker, on the other hand, the Joker is an incredibly rich and complex antagonist with so many layers that until you get to certain points in a story, until you get to the end points of certain stories, you don't understand all of the motivations behind it. Catwoman is the same way for an antagonist in Batman, because she is an antagonist in Batman, but every so often she's also the one saving the day and is better at it than Batman. So, DCU is a horrible universe, but DC Comics are amazing. Anyway. Bonnie, hey, Bonnie is popping in to give me a like, get weird with my buttons. I love it. It is good to see you. Hopefully you'll have a chance to get some writing done as well for the evening. If not, I perfectly understand. We do stream kind of later. So it works for me, but I know it doesn't work for everybody. Actually tell us, everyone, a little bit about, since we're on the topic of antagonists and everything, tell us a little bit about your antagonists that you are writing. That would be lots of fun. I think it would also might be inspirational for others, because I get stuck in, and maybe it's because I've been, writing now paranormal mysteries for a while. I get stuck writing antagonists kind of fairly the same. And you have to remember, my paranormal mysteries are about psychics and serial killers. So serial killers are very complex individuals, but they're also abnormal. They're also, abnormal psychology. So I think it's interesting that I just want to do something to scare the crap out of you and make those go away.
No, it never. No,
doesn't work.
Doesn't work on me. Sadly.
Do any of the tricks work, or do you just have to wait for them to
just have to calm my diaphragm?
Yep. Mr. Spence says DC villains are amazing. They are. DC villains are amazing. Their protagonists their heroes are a little one-dimensional or two-dimensional. Nothing's one-dimensional, but are a little two-dimensional and kind of boring because they're all a little too goody-goody. But the DC villains are spectacular. They are, in my opinion, actually better than Marvel villains are, because Marvel
villains are hilarious.
Yeah, Marvel villains are a little too. They're a little two-dimensional, a little too two-dimensional. Whereas Marvel heroes are incredibly complex. So if we could just get the dudes that, the peoples that write the DC villains and the peoples that write the Marvel heroes and get them to collaborate on a project.
It was called amalgam.
Well, that is true. You are right. You are very right about that. We should have more of those, because amalgam was good. It had its issues. It had its problems. But it was good.
But it had its moments.
It had its moments where I was very happy. Okay. So speaking of moments to be very happy, let's get some more writing then.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. It's just gonna be like just lots of little moments. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I'm not gonna do a countdown because I forgot this timer has a countdown on it. So we will go ahead and let it do the whole countdown thing. Sprint! Beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. Okay. How'd everybody do? The rock on? I think we did really well on that particular sprint. Like, we finished up the beat that we were working on. We added another one, fleshed it out pretty good, really thought it through. Oops. I got stuff, doing stuff, and it's not supposed to be doing stuff. Okay. But yeah.
How's it going, Sean?
What now?
What now?
We are assorted paragons. I am a paragon of virtue.
Not I.
I couldn't even hold my face for it. Like, I couldn't even hold the innocent look for that long. I'm sure, like, you know, like my ancestors rolled over in their graves or something, you know. Spence says that Project BCR doesn't really have an antagonist. They treat the characters all as opponents to each other as instead, which is really good. So in the dark fantasy series that I'm writing, or kind of rewriting because it was my first book that I published in 2007, same thing. Everybody they're opponents to each other. There's a point to the story, and it's a very character driven story, but nobody's really trying to thwart anyone per se. People are, I mean, obviously they're like two sides at war, kind of a thing. Everybody's trying to win, but everybody's just trying to get there. Nobody's like, I'm going after this one specific person, you know, kind of a thing. Debbie says 4 pages are thumbnailed and they are rough and tiny. That's okay. Things start off rough and they can get polished, and they can start off tiny and they can get bigger.
Indeed.
And they are thumbnails. So thumbnails traditionally are tiny anyway.
Yes. I do mine super tiny.
I don't thumbnail. I mean, okay, I take that back. So sometimes when I am doing my my like series Bible, because I'll print off my series Bible and have it in digital format.
Sure.
So I can take some notes, and sometimes just so I can doodle, honestly, and like do stuff like that. So I will doodle little thumbnails of like little scenes. It's usually stick figure theater, of little scenes that I have in my head, kind of a thing. You know, it's like a little stick figure hoisting a broadsword, or you know, something like that. What now says, I try to get my ancestors rolling over in their graves daily. Hook a motor onto that baby, and you've got a necro-disappointed source of renewable energy. Well, whatever we can do to have sustainable, renewable energy. From rough and tiny acorns, terrifying oaks grow.
Yeah.
Very poetic. Very poetic. Alley Cat says 161 words and distracted still. That's okay. It's okay. You're still getting 161 words despite being distracted. My distractions are usually like way more involved than me getting 165 words in, or 161 words in. So Debbie says that they do it so they don't add details, make them small.
Actually, I do something similar. I will make them as detailed as necessary in that small space, but that way, if I blow up the thumbnail, I communicate what it was that I was trying to communicate, and it's not lost in translation.
Cool. Yeah, see, and I'm still so new in my art game that, like, I'm like, okay, this is exactly, I mean, I draw until it's done. And once I am, like, I don't go back to things afterwards and go, I need to add some more detail to this section. And because I'm not an artist, I just draw whatever is there in my head, or, I mean, I may go back to something to finish drawing it later because I didn't have enough time. But I don't add stuff to it afterwards. But, like, I need to flesh out this section here, at least as far as my visual art goes. Now, as far as my writing goes, I do that crap all the time. Key is here. Greetings and hallucinations. Key, good to see you.
Hi, Key.
So Sako and I are working on secondary beats tonight. So after our zero draft, we figured out we were lacking in some places. So we're trying to figure out how to go in there and work some magic, flesh some stuff out. Now here's someone who knows what's what.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Greetings and hallucinations are a good thing. I like to be greeted and I like to hallucinate. Oh, so yeah, so I mean, I guess we could wait till the sprint to discuss it, but you're right. We ended up writing that there is a relationship somehow between Iris and Justicia, and there we didn't build it in there until the very very end. So I thought maybe in the detention center, Iris could be in there as a she could be in there as a volunteer, as a anything like that that comes in to volunteer with the kids.
If she was doing anything like that, Jerry would know.
True. Okay. You're gonna have to think on that a little bit then.
Because the scene where she talks to Sharon is like important but brief.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we could probably like lump in.
We could
elaborate another scene where Iris is like, it's not so bad here.
Yeah. But well, I don't know because we want Iris not persuading her to be there. Remember?
That's a good point.
Yeah. So we want. Okay, so what if we did something along the lines of like after Sharon leaves and everything, Sharon's like, this is Iris. She'll get you settled, kind of a thing. Like Iris closes the door and Justicia starts to like be like, look, Chica, you're not gonna make me like it here. And Iris just like click on the door and locks it and been like, I don't want to make you like it here.
Mm-hmm.
Like something just like straight up. To where Justicia is like, oh, I'm listening now. So maybe something like that. Okay. While we have that in our brains, we should probably do another sprint.
We probably should.
Let me get the clock reset. There we go. All right. Clock back on the board for another 20 minutes. Maybe. Sprint it all. Beep, 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 beep. All right, y'all. How did everybody do?
Phew.
So I think Sako and I actually managed to do like the majority of secondary beats in one stream, which is hella impressive, y'all. But you did have a good you did have a good point there at the last little bit. So we might have to think about mom a little bit. I don't know.
A mom scene could possibly happen after the interaction with Sharon. Like, you're not my real mom. My real mom would have X, Y, and Z. Like,
Or we could add that dialogue in there. We could also add a little drop in of Dad pining a bit after Daisaku comes to Justicia's house and shows her the flambeau for the first time. Because remember, Dad shows up just at the tail end of that scene. So maybe
we could probably drop it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we could finagle a little bit in there about him reminiscing or something about how much she looks like her mom, or so we could probably, I mean, we wouldn't need much, just a little bit of dialogue in those two scenes, I think would be enough for the whole boom mom thing later.
Yeah.
Debbie got 3 pages thumbnailed, which is really good. Shawn has been typing up their flash fiction for the anthology thing and hunting out 3 sound effects to give it a certain something. Fun fact, I do not like writing flash fiction, not one little bit.
Really?
I don't like writing it either.
I love it. I love it. I basically write a scene, and that's
I just can't.
flash fiction.
I just can't encapsulate.
You come in the middle and you leave in the middle. It's great.
I don't know. Of course, I always joke with people that I'm a novelist, and I introduce myself. I can't introduce myself in less than 50,000 words. So, like, I'm always like, I can't do it in less than 50,000 words. I'm just a long form writer.
I have it still open, Furious Fiction, where it's 500 words. I don't know if I could do 500 words.
I've never been able to write something comprehensively in less than 1,000 words. Like I even did this contest one time that was based on, like, they showed you a picture and it was supposed to be a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sure. So you're supposed to write 1,000-word short story, or flash. Some people consider that flash. Yeah. Based on the picture. And I wrote what I thought was a very succinct little, like, slice of a moment of a person's day or a person's life. And people were like, this is an amazing introductory to a science fiction novel. And I was like, but I didn't write it with the concept of elaborating it into a full-length, even into a short story versus a full-length novel. And they were like, but it would be amazing. And so that was the rejection that I got, was that this would be amazing.
This would be amazing as an opening to a novel. Yeah.
As a full-length novel. And I'm like, son of a fucking... I can't write. I was like, I can't write a piece of flash or a piece of short fiction to save my life. Like, I mean, I have written short fiction. Obviously, I have 3 short story anthologies that are out that have my work in it. And I've written pieces here and there that were more or less writing exercises that I thought were good enough to be polished into an actual short story, and make it less than 5,000. They're between 5,000 and 10,000 words.
Yeah.
But I struggle with them. Most of the time, most of my short fiction writing is an exercise to help jog my brain or distract me temporarily so that a different story can like marinate in the back of my brain and turn itself over. And it's just keeping me creative until I can go and click on the other project, start typing now.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a thing.
Sure.
I'm just a novelist. I mean, I have written, of course, like I have written like one act plays, but which
This
is
is what-
really, but that's different. Yeah, it's a scene, but it's still short.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyway, but someone says flash fiction is when a fancy bar gives you a thimble of whiskey as a taster. I stood here in good taste of son. Give me the bottle of scotch for your own safety. Yeah, pretty much. Just here's a thimble. Yeah, I always love when you go to a bar or a fancy restaurant or a bar, and they're like, we'll let you taste your beverage sample this evening so that you know what you want. And I'm like, bitch, just bring me the beer. If I don't like it, I'm still gonna drink it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beer.
It's a beer. I'll drink it.
Yeah, I might have to choke it down because it's too bitter or too,
Sure.
but it's a beer. I'm gonna continue to drink it. And besides, if I don't like it, I'm gonna send it back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be like, I don't like it. Kind of a thing. But that's just me, and I am straight up the bitch at the bar that will be like, I don't like the drink. You're gonna pour me another.
Mm.
You're gonna fix that ratio a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm also the bitch at the bar that walks in and orders something by color.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I'm feeling like something with rum in it tonight, and make it blue, please.
Yeah.
And and they're just like, what? I'm like, I don't know what the name of the drink is, but I want something with rum, and I want it to be blue for some reason. So,
yeah,
thrill me. I don't know. I don't care at that point.
That's hilarious.
I used to do that all the time at a nightclub with my ex-husband while we were still married. We'd go to this club in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, which some people will know is where the University of Illinois is. And we'll also know that my first 2 books in my paranormal mystery series are set in those towns.
Mm.
So we used to go to this bar, and it was really a club. Every Thursday night was goth night. So we'd go because massive goth. And I would walk in. The bartender, Gabe, knew us so well, and we tipped really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd walk in and just be like, Gabe, make me something pink tonight. I want to drink pink all night. And he'd be like, okay, whatever you want, because you guys hella tip and get people drinking.
Mm.
So my ex-husband could get anybody to dance. He wouldn't dance, but he could get anybody out on the dance floor. I dance like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm like, just dance. Especially because Illinois actually, or in Champaign-Urbana, because it's in like central Illinois, so it's obviously south of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But Illinois has a great like independent music scene.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a ton of indie bands that just pretty much just tour the state, or they tour what I like to consider the Midwest Triangle. Instead of the Bermuda Triangle, you have the Midwest Triangle, which is Chicago, St. Louis, and Louisville, Kentucky. So it's like the Midwestern Triangle. So they would just tour that, and it would take them through all the little towns in between. So you'd get a ton of DJs that would tour. And they'd just come in and they'd spin for the night, and it was a lot of indie stuff that would get done. Make me something pink tonight. Pepto-Bismol and sparkling water in a martini glass. Did I mention, Shawn, I tip incredibly well. So I know that's not as big a thing in Britain. The whole tipping is sort of as big a thing in the UK, but it's huge in America. If you tip well, you get treated well. So
you are treated like family if you tip well.
Yeah, and we would tip we would tip traditionally, usually about like a quarter to half of whatever our bar tab was.
Sure.
And our bar tab was usually pretty impressive. Because we'd buy drinks for other people. You know, like we wouldn't be trashed by the time we'd go home, but lots of our friends would be.
Right on.
This was, of course, in my younger days.
Yeah.
Not quite. Not as big on the. That was the only club we ever really went to. Other than that, not really as big on the bar scene and everything. Like, I wasn't even all that big on it. Karaoke, yes.
Yeah, that's different.
Really.
That's different.
Karaoke is much different, but I still tip incredibly generously to both my karaoke host and my waitresses as well as my bartenders, just because I go in and I'll order soda all night, and all I'm drinking soda all night, and I'll tip like I've been drinking alcohol and ordering food all night long. And Shawn says, yeah, I have to earn my family's affection with percentile additions to their incomes as well. Yes. Yeah, well, when they aren't actually family and you do start adding to their income, they do treat you like family. You become their little sister they never had or they always wanted.
Yeah.
But okay, so we have like 13 minutes left of the stream. It's kind of enough time to maybe do like a little 10-minute sprint.
That would. Dare we do that to ourselves?
I think, okay, so yes, I think we do, because we just need to go back into those two sections and add a note that we need to name drop mom.
Yes.
So 10 minutes should be just fine for that, as long as we don't go off on a tangent. As long as two writers collaborating together and chatting back and forth don't go off on some type of a tangent with each other. But first, I have to get a timer. Because I don't have... Do I have any 10-minute timers? That's a good question. I'm sure I do, but like not queued up. It's okay. I have a whole playlist of productivity timers, many from fellow Authortubers. As a matter of fact, here's a good simple 10-minute one. On my channel, if people want to go check that out. And if you have yet to subscribe and get weird with my buttons, you should totally do so. Because we will be ending this bitch soon.
Yeah.
But there are lots of other people streaming. I think Sage, Moon Bunny Creative, is streaming.
Yes. As of 50 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah, so she'll still be streaming for a little while. Let me just get this started, or stopped, rather, and restarted, because it was like halfway through it. My partner would be so happy, because he's trying to game with somebody in the background, and he's having to go radio silent when I'm on the stream.
Oh.
But when I'm sprinting, he can actually chat.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, stop what you're doing. Okay, we're going to do like 9 minutes and 53 seconds, because it's where it stopped at.
Okay.
We'll be in this bitch soon. Sounds way too much like there's a hostage ransom situation going on here. True. Very true. All right, so we are going to do another 9 minute and 53 minutes, 9 minute and 53 second sprint, because I'm tired of trying to restart this. All right, ready to go in 3, 2, 1, sprint!
Beep, beep, beep.
Okay, beep 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 beep. Again, I wasn't paying attention to the timer and totally forgot to tell my partner to go to radio silence. And like the timer went off, and I was like, "Crap! Throw the post-it notes at him." Oh, like guy on the other end. Okay, yeah. So I think that's good. We got those name drop sections in there, and then we'll have to flesh those out. But other than that, I'm like super excited.
Cool.
And as the stream ends, so does the flash fiction typing correcting. Hope you like weird dream serpents and snail people.
I do like those things.
I like anything weird. But yes, dream serpents, snail people, totally good with that. Totally good with that. Wow, I've got these snail people in my head now. Like I'm picturing the snail people from the Neverending Story.
I thought the same exact thing.
But like slightly more like done more anime style for some reason. Like done more manga.
Interesting.
I don't know why I was picturing that per se, like with weird hair and like I don't know. Because you said weird, and I couldn't just go with something normal like the Neverending Story snail people. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the stream tonight, writing weirdos. Got lots done. Hope you all got lots done as well. Sako and I got through our secondary beats. Got those pretty fleshed out. From now on, I am bouncing all ideas for all future projects off of Sako because this has been painless to get through beats. I like writing beats, but beats are probably what I struggle with the most.
Yep, that's the hard part.
Yeah, just because I'm like, it makes sense to me, and like, especially getting through secondary beats, because I'm always like, I don't know, it's pretty good to me as it stands, so why should I have to do anything else? No, kind of a thing. I'm just perfect when I do things the first. No, okay. But yeah,
and so, I'm the one going like, what about this, that, and the other thing, and this other thing, and
I do the same thing. I go back through
this other thing.
Yeah, I go back through and do the same thing. I'm always like, wait a minute, BC. No, you can't do this. And what about this? And this doesn't make sense. And where's the logic and reasoning?
There was a lot of stuff that we were telling ourselves as we were writing, but we weren't telling the audience.
Yeah, like that we were discussing.
That we were discussing then not actually writing it. Yeah.
So that is a good thing. Writers, remember. We know the stories. We know the stories in and out and upside down and flipped around and all over the place. But the reader does not unless we actually write it.
Exactly.
So if we don't write it, they don't know it.
Yep.
And we can't assume they're going to infer it. Very important. All right, Sako, go ahead and do your outro for the fine folks out there.
Howdy, howlers. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. So if you are looking to market yourself as an author, you can find me at this channel. If you want to do witchy things in the mornings with coffee and books and things, then you can find me at the Witch of Till with Tag. And I'd love to see you.
I need to remember to put that in your... Sako's links are down below, with the exception of her new witchy channel, because I spaced and did not put it in the links below. So I will get it added going forward. So we have that. So it's awesome. Alley Cat got 446 words, clearly no longer distracted. And thanks for this. Of course.
Thanks for coming, man.
I am so glad to see you. I am so very glad to see you. But yeah, thanks for coming. Come and join us more on Thursdays. Join us on Mondays on Sako's channel, the Sako Tumi channel, the one that's linked down below, because we do more productivity sprints on Mondays, and we do more of this. She and I do more of this together. So, my writing weirdos, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We really do appreciate it. I am, of course, BC, and this is BC Brown Books, where we get weird about words in the ways that writers can. We write them, and we talk about writing them. As you guys can see, I had some new curated videos that are coming out once a week. They'll be out on Tuesdays, for right now, at least until I decide to change that schedule. I'm not sure. But I will have more coming out for you. And if all of you were wondering about my lovely, gorgeous, non-purple walls in the background here, a video coming out next week will be my home office renovation that we did. A full remodel where it included getting rid of the crappy princess purple and more of a more BC aesthetic.
Yeah.
So you get to see that video coming up, including me painting and like wearing painting clothing and drinking a lot of soda, because that's, I feel like, what I did 90% of. All right, weirdos. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you next week. And don't forget to keep getting weird about your words.